It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
A strong, positive sense of self-esteem is your first step to anything you wish to accomplish. Yet too often, when we attempt to leave our comfort zone, we have that chorus of inner critics inside our heads, the itty-bitty shitty committee, as I like to call mine, whispering self-sabotaging doubt and untrue trash talk in our ear. This podcast celebrates women who rise above and move beyond any self-doubt and old, outmoded, limiting beliefs. Women who have reconnected with who they truly are, that gorgeous, talented, fabulous gift to the world who deserves recognition and unconditional love. My hope is that their insights inspire all of you to do the same. You know, the most beautiful thing any woman can wear is confidence. Here on Confidence in Bloom with the Divas That Care Network, I, Tina Spolatini, speak with women now secure in their own self-confidence so we can learn from their stories of how they found themselves and became the magnificent role models they are to us all now. Today I'm talking with Sue Coleman. Sue is a successful networking mastery coach with Empowered Networking and also a licensee with Selling on the Spot Marketplace. Entrepreneurs hire Sue to supercharge their network skills because most struggle to make impactful connection and follow-ups. Sue helps them to identify their ideal right-fit client, master the art of relationship building, and ensure they're networking in the most fruitful environment. After working with Sue, they see improved networking results, increased revenue, and impact guaranteed. Sue lives in Oakville, Ontario with her husband and close to her 2 sons. After 2 years of being subject to the disruption of corporate relocations and the vagaries of the real estate market, Sue was also a licensed realtor for 26 plus years. She enjoys being able to work from anywhere, expressing her passion for coaching and helping other people find their own path to success. Welcome, Sue.
Thank you.
You were a realtor for 26 plus years, and now you're in networking. So I sort of combine the two, networking and real estate. That's kind of, I mean, yes, I know that your real estate is about, you know, buying and selling, but it's kind of the same, right? A realtor is a true PR manager.
Yeah, in many ways you are, because it's all about marketing yourself and well, I think these days more so. Back in the day, we were very much more restricted about who we could promote, and we had to promote the brokerage first, and we were sort of an add-on. So it's but yeah, you were your own PR company. You had to get out there and meet people.
Yeah. My dad was in real estate when I was young, and man, the people that he connected with, I was like, wow. And I was young. I was quite young, but I remember there was people of all types. And I thought, wow, that would be like an awesome job. And then I have an uncle now who's in real estate, and he says, you don't sell the house sells itself, right? It's all about your connection with the person that you're dealing with.
Yeah, it's definitely about building personal relationships. And I think these days, I think many people, not just in real estate, I think over COVID, many people lost the art of networking. They really just, got hooked on these rectangular screens and Zoom meetings and didn't realize you still need to build those relationships. You still need to nurture. You still need to connect and build what I call a prosperity referral network. And it requires some out-of-the-box thinking, and I love coaching people with that because a lot of people, and realtors too, they do tend to focus on the industries that are natural for a realtor. Like, for example, lawyers, mortgage brokers, title insurance. those kind of people. They're always making sure those guys know about them. But I like to teach community networking and building a community of referral partners around you. Maybe it's chiropractors or martial arts studio or the hairdresser. Just thinking outside the box. Think about where conversations are happening, where somebody might say, oh, you need to speak to, my friend so-and-so who's a realtor because of something they've said. And I just come in a very different way these days. I wish somebody taught me this when I was in real estate.
Right? Yeah. So network, that's what networking is, right? It's building relationships and connections in kind of all walks of life, right? You want to know somebody, especially when it comes to entrepreneurship, you want to know somebody in every industry so that you can spread your word and gain that relationship or that connection with someone who either could be a potential client or a potential referrer.
Yeah, but there's a slight nuance in what I like to teach, and that is to look and see how you can help those people in the community build their businesses. I was always taught palm up networking. How can I help? And I found over COVID, people came to networking meetings to get something. They need to get business. Oh my gosh, I can't go out and do it. I need to get something. So they lost the art of saying to people, how can I help you? What is it that you need that somebody in my network might need your service? And so that's where I come at it right now these days is like, yes, we want those people to refer to us, but hey, let's step up to the plate and send them business, so that it comes naturally. Not that we're, saying to them, have you got anybody for me? But it will come naturally. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And I'm wondering, I'm just wondering how do you know? You can't, I guess you can, but I'm thinking as the average person, we don't know, I wouldn't know how to send people to, a mechanic shop for large trucks, a heavy duty mechanic, right? I wouldn't know.
It's just coming in, but it's just coming out of general conversations. Like if we meet our friends and family, and they say, oh shoot, I've got this rattle in my car. I don't know. Well, you know what? You might want to check out Johnny's garage. I've heard he does great work. So your friend goes over and says, oh, my friend Sue told me to check out your garage. That kind of thing. Or,
right.
If you're, it's just like being community minded. But if you're in a business, find ways when you're talking to people on a networking meeting, find out how you can help them. So they say, well, I'm looking for people who do da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And next time you're having a conversation, you hear somebody say da-da-da-da. You say, hey, you need to talk to Tina. That's exactly what she does. Send the business out. Just keep your ears open for how you can help the people you're talking to. And just look for, if, for example, a realtor has somebody moves in, they move a new family in, and it's provide them with some information and say, oh, your son likes to do martial arts. Well, I've heard there's a great studio down here. Here's their information. Make sure you tell them I sent them because I'd like them to know. And then, okay, and you need a new hairstylist? Oh, well, I've heard this person is great for curly hair. She'd be great for you. Look for ways how you can help people. Put it out. And just kind of liken it to being a sunflower, and you're in the middle, and you are feeding the petals. You're nourishing the petals. And eventually those petals will nourish you by producing seeds. So it's a bit convoluted maybe, but that's how I see it. It's just how can you help everybody else? And one fun
That's
exercise.
Awesome. That's I like that because, you're going to know somebody, or you're going to know, you're either going to know somebody in the industry or somebody who knows about the industry.
Yeah, and if you don't, just if in your local network, if you don't have a particular business or something in your network, why not reach out and say, hey, I'd like to learn more about your business? Like, take them by surprise and say, hey, you've got a really great dry cleaning business. I had no idea you specialize in bridal wear. Like, become a resource for the community. Get out there and find people, talk to people, and build your good old-fashioned name Rolodex, but build your list of people, and stay in touch with them. And, if you see an article about, new dry cleaning techniques, hey, did you see this? I thought it was kind of interesting. Send it to them. Send them a card because you saw their granddaughter graduated from a university and you saw it on Facebook. Like and love their posts on Facebook or LinkedIn. Make comments. Just help them. So they,
I like that.
You become top of mind. It's different. It sounds like it's a lot more work, but once you get it going, it's just staying in touch with people and saying, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Don't make it all about business. They're human beings. And human beings like to help each other. So use that.
Yeah, I have to agree, right? And the thing is, the more you do that, the more it's going to come back to you. So if you continue to raise these, connections and, support your community, the community is going to support you as well. So they will start sending people to you, because they're going to know what you're doing as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just that's nice person.
Really lovely. Yeah, of course. So as a realtor, is that what pushed you into this networking?
Not really. I've always been a networker. I've always looked for ways to find my way around when I've been transferred overseas or whatever. I would network through different things to find the things I needed, talking to people. It just seems to come naturally to me. And when I was, it must have been 10, 12 years ago now, that I was introduced to somebody by the name of Donna Messer, her company was Connect Us. And she was huge on this palm up networking, like always be looking for how you can help. And so it helped me. I didn't know it much when I was in real estate, because I left real estate about 8-9 years ago now. But it just is in my nature. Like, I'm always looking for connecting people. So I'm on a networking meeting. I'm always listening for that. And I just found that, I was doing network marketing, and was networking to do that. It just has always been in my sort of nature to be a connector. My husband always saying, I don't realize how connected I am until somebody needs something. And, you need to. So.
Well, and you know lots of people now. Yeah. But because of that, a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, I've been to 2 events now that you put on with your spotlight. Sell on the spot. Is that what it's called?
Selling on the spot market.
And I went to another one. Yeah. And I mean, there's lots of people there, and you have the ability to remember everyone, right? Like, what everyone in front of us is selling, which I love. My brain is like, oh man, I know she's in coaching, but I can't remember what she coaches for.
Yeah, I take good notes. And I really do try to keep my things up to date so that I can, put keywords in so that if I need to search for certain people, I can find them. So, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I have a list on my phone in my phone book for, people that I've met through networking. And I, I have the business and everything on there so I can, easily send you a contact. Oh yeah, I know a bookkeeper here. Here's her contact information. And then of course with doing the podcast, I have, I've met many people that I can do that with. Yeah, that's great. So now let's get into like the fine details. Where is the best place to network, in your opinion?
Well, where your people are hanging out, where you might find people who need your services. So, I mean, if you really are looking to, I find a lot of people don't know who they're looking for. And, so they say, well, anyone, but I don't have anyone called anyone in my phone. So people need to know who they're looking for and make sure that either service providers are going to be in those groups or that your actual right fit client might be in that group. So I sort of say it's like you got to make sure you're fishing in the right pond. So looking for trout in the salmon pond, you're going to get nowhere. And people have to really look at the ROI on their networking. Like look at where they are networking and really do an evaluation. Like, are the people I need to connect with going to those events? Or is it just nice because I've been going to that same group for the last 3 years, every Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock, and I just really like those people. But you're not getting any connections or business or referrals. Can you help those people? I mean, you really have to look. So I can't really say that there's one good place for networking for everybody. You really have to look at the results you're getting, the connections you're making. And the other thing about networking, make sure if you're networking, you're following up. Because a lot of people go, and, back in the days when we got cards given to us in live events, we would, maybe follow up. But these days with the chats and Zoom and stuff, it's hard to find people's information. And people just don't follow up the same way. So then that really answers your question. But if you're going to go to a networking event, do some homework. See if you can find out who's going to be there. And if you can, make a beeline for the people you want to meet and connect with. And
so sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead, finish.
Go ahead. No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, when you walk into a room, you kind of, do you want to pick out, I want to talk with her, and her today, or is that what you mean? You need to know kind of what you're going to do.
Yeah, if you can see the guest list ahead of time, and maybe they are, number one, your ideal client, or a business that's complementary or something. Those are the people you want to make sure you connect with. So you don't need to speak to everybody in the room. You don't, because you can't be everything to everybody. So if you go and you say, okay, this meeting, I really want to make 3 great connections and have 3 great conversations with these people if you know them, or just make sure you make 3 or 5 good connections that you can follow up with afterwards. You don't want to go and get, especially if we're talking about a live event, everybody's cards. You don't want to go around collecting cards, and you don't want to be throwing your card at everybody. Be strategic. Connect with the people you need to connect with and follow up and begin the relationship with them and nurture that relationship with them. Don't be trying to get everybody. It's not about the size of your list. It's the quality of your list of people.
I like that, yeah. It's not the size, it's the quality.
Yeah, I mean, I hear these people say, oh, they've got so many thousands of people on their list. Well, that's great, but do you know them? Are they people that you can refer, or, when was the last time you spoke to them? This list is a living, breathing thing that you need to stay in touch with, and you need to nurture these people and be of service and see how you can help them.
Yeah. I never really thought of it as, I see it as helping them, but not in I guess I don't know how to explain that. I just never thought of networking as, who can I help today, right? I always think of networking as, a contact that in the future will help me. But it goes both ways.
Mm-hmm. And they're more likely to help you if you've helped them.
Right, and that's that's how the world works, right? A tit for tat, as some people say. Yeah. Now, can you explain to me what an elevator pitch is?
An elevator pitch is really one, maximum two lines, where if you were in an elevator going, from one floor up to a couple of floors, somebody says, oh, what is it that you do? They would know within one or two sentences what you do. Kind of like what you read from me about entrepreneurs, work with me, supercharge their networking. People are clear when I say that to them, what I do. So that's what it is. It's really just a couple of lines where you say who you are, who you serve, the problem you solve, and how you solve it.
Okay, now I want to ask, because I've heard so many people say, don't ever answer your question with, I'm a life coach, right? Or I'm a realtor, right? You want to, when you're introducing yourself, you want to say, yes, your name, but you want to say basically who you're helping. So like I help women going through transition that are 45 plus, right? And you want to you say how you solve their problem. So women that are transitioning into, possibly, I don't know, they're coming out of a divorce, or they're empty nesting now. Their kids have moved out, and so that's what I do, right? I help women, create
who are in transition.
a new routine, right? A new routine in their transition, and help them get over like any kind of negative feelings that they're feeling about this transition. And so I would say that in one or two lines, and I just blurted out for at least a minute there. So obviously I don't have that down pat, right?
It takes practice. And this, like mine, is entrepreneurs hire me to supercharge their networking skills because most struggle to make impactful connections and follow-ups. So I help them to identify their ideal right fit client, master the art of relationship building, and ensure they're networking in the most fruitful environments. Bottom line, they'll see improved networking results, increased revenue and impact. Guaranteed. That's it.
Wow.
Maybe it's a bit long,
if I don't,
but you know who I am and what I do.
Right. If I don't understand that, then I probably don't need your services. Because if I needed
you might have some questions.
Right. Because it's pretty, that's pretty straightforward, right? Like that's pretty basic, right? And it's not like using words that nobody knows, right?
Yep.
I love that.
Yep.
Now, what are common challenges that you have come across with entrepreneurs when it comes to networking? Because I'm sure there's shy people, there's introverts, there's, people that are just afraid to stand and talk to people they don't know.
Well, if you are sort of a little bit gun shy going into, let's talk about a live networking event now. So you've been invited, but you're a little, not sure. Excuse me. Sometimes reach out to the host and say, look, this is my first time at something like this. Could you help introduce me? I'd really like to meet people who are connected, in these businesses, or can you point me in the direction of somebody who's that? Just ask for help. People, if somebody's hosting a networking event, they want it to be successful. They don't want people saying, I just stood against the wall because nobody would talk to me. No, they want people coming back to their event. So ask the host to say, I'm new to this. Can you tell me who here is a mortgage broker or a fitness trainer or a coach? And then say, well, would you mind introducing me? Or if you can see them, go up, and if they're in a conversation, just wait there till you get a break in the action and say, oh, hi, my name is, Sue Coleman, and you are? I'm happy to meet you. Insert yourself. Ask for help. It's, we've all been there. We've all ooh, my first time. And I still get really nervous going to events, but I just take a moment to breathe. Everybody was new once. Everybody's here to help. And you're going to get people who are going to throw their cards at you. They're not interested in getting to know you or anything else. Fine. But you're going to find some gems who are really interested and understand what networking is. So just be patient with yourself and ask for help. And if you see somebody there that you know, go and say hello and say, who in this group is, if you're looking for a particular person or a particular connection, ask them, hey, would you mind introducing me? That's what it's all about.
I love that. Yeah. And often, like, you can walk into a room and you can just feel, like, you look around and you can feel who that person's going to be. Like, if the host, like, if I walk into your room and you're busy and I don't have a minute to, say, Sue, can you, like, help me out here? There's going to be someone in that room that's going to have that approachable feel, and you can go to them and say, I'm going to sit beside you, and do you mind if you kind of, like, walk me through how you do your own introduction and all that stuff, right? People there are willing to help you. That's what they're there for.
Yeah, like you will. If you'll see somebody who's sort of magnetic, has that welcoming feel, then go to them. You don't want to be standing with somebody who's got their arms crossed and, with that vibe of, like, don't bother. So look for the people who are engaged, who are, talking, whatever, that you just get a good feel about. And, just don't get, stuck on the wall there saying, oh.
Right, you don't want to become the wallflower while that person is doing all the talking. No, definitely not.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and when you get to somebody, the real key with networking is you were given 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Listen twice as much as you talk. And ask questions. And ask not yes and no questions. Ask leading questions where people can, you want to find out about them. You want to be interested. You don't want to be interesting. It's not about you. It's about them. How can, who are they and how can you help them? And if you're asking questions and, eventually somebody's going to say to you, well, what is it that you do? Then you can, come up with that. But be interested. And maybe, like, there were some questions I was given on a strategic alliance summit the other day. And it was asking questions to ask people, because usually it's, what do you do? Da-da-da. But why don't you ask them, what are you most proud of? And ask them, what are you most proud of this year, or an accomplishment? Like, get them talking about themselves and what's important to them. Do they have any goals, And do they have a big picture, a big plan? Just be interested. And besides, your ears will never get you into trouble. Unless you hear something you shouldn't have and you tell somebody else, then you get in trouble. But basically...
Right, but that's not your ears again, right? It's your mouth, and your mouth goes when it shouldn't.
Yeah. So your ears won't get you into trouble. Just be interested in the other person. And they'll tell you what they need and what have you. Just ask questions about them.
Yeah, that's a great tip. That's a really great tip. Now, I want to ask about social media. Now, I know, like, I use Facebook and I use LinkedIn and I use Instagram. But the reality is more entrepreneurs are using, well, number one, I think, is LinkedIn. And then number two is Facebook. What are there any rules or maybe not rules, but like special instructions that you give to your fellow networkers about, how to use it, like to make sure that if you're using it for networking purposes, follow this criteria? Do you have any kind of rules like that?
Well, really, the one is provide value. Don't be what I call verbally vomiting, saying me, this is what I do, da. Provide value. You want to show your expertise. Provide, like for me, I provide tips on networking and I ask questions around networking, and I just want people to engage and get value out of what I write or what I post. And I think that's the big thing, is that people too often are all talking about themselves and not providing value. It's like if you've got a product, it's like we sell it selling on the spot marketplace, is tell people what's in it for them. You know, they don't want to hear that it's, oh, this, this research or this. It's how is it going to help them? So you provide the value it's going to be to them. And the same when you're writing things on LinkedIn. How is this providing value? Is there a tip, or is there a story or something that gives value? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Because like you said, you want to know, or like your clients want to know how you can help them. So you need to offer that value so they know to connect with you, right?
Yeah,
if you are always saying, like, I'm a life coach, I'm a life coach, I'm a life coach. Well, life coach varies from one to another, right? There's so many different types of life coaches. You know, I'm not going to reach out to you if I don't know how you can help me.
Yeah, that's when you want to put in stories or testimonials, or so people can see, oh, this is where Tina could help me. I didn't realize she did that. Like, just weave in stories and provide value and tips. And I mean, you don't want to give away your whole process and that, because then nobody's ever going to need to hire you. But you need to let them know you know your stuff with engaging stories and anecdotes and value about how they can improve their lives. You know, did you know this simple hack that could, you know, if you're feeling stressed, did you know standing there with your hands on your hips and breathing deeply will help to calm you down? Like, give value.
I love
it doesn't have
that.
to be a book. It doesn't have to be a book. It can be a very simple, and know who you're looking for too, because I mean, LinkedIn and Facebook are very different. You can post occasionally personal stuff on LinkedIn, but if you've got, you know, personal pictures and that kind of thing, like fluffy stuff, I would keep that for Facebook, because that's where it is, and keep it very more professionally edged. I mean, it still can be personal, but on LinkedIn, yeah, the language and stuff needs to be a little more business-like. But LinkedIn is great if you've got, like your coaching business. You can write articles on there and have a newsletter on LinkedIn. And there's so much you can do on LinkedIn and reach out to many people. It's a very different social media area. So.
Yeah, it's quite different. I mean, it can be similar depending on how you use it, but there's so many different things you can do on there. I took a course not too long ago on how to use it, and I thought, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's good for business like you can make an ask for business introductions over on LinkedIn a lot easier than you can on Facebook.
Yes.
And you're not so limited with the number of people.
Yeah, you set me up with someone on there as well, and I liked how it was like it's almost like LinkedIn, you know, purposely added that for that, you know, like for that reason. Because on Facebook, there's not really an option for that, right?
Yeah, and what I did there when I introduced you to Katrine was I used a Chrome extension that sort of lays over the top of LinkedIn. It's not part of LinkedIn, but it's something you can use as a Chrome extension called My Most Trusted. And it's great because then anybody, like I put you into My Most Trusted network, and I put Katrine in there, and then when people see in my network somebody they want to be connected to, then I can do that through that Chrome extension. And it's a warm introduction rather than somebody just seeing somebody on LinkedIn and thinking, oh, yeah, I'd like to connect with that person, and then sending them a cold message. It doesn't have the same these days. But this particular Chrome extension, My Most Trusted, is brilliant. And most people can use it for free. And there are some amazing benefits. But I use the premium version, which gives me a lot more. But it's an absolutely super, super, super extension that you can use to build your network. And we've all got people on LinkedIn that, we said yes to when they just sent us a connection request. We don't know them from Adam, never had a conversation or anything. So what I'm doing now is, as I make new connections on LinkedIn, or as I reconnect with people and make sure that they are people I would know, like, trust, and be willing to refer, then I'm moving them over into my most trusted extension. So they're sitting over there sort of in a separate directory. And I think there's about 40,000 people in that directory now through the different people who are using it. And it's growing.
Man.
And the nice thing is, if anybody sees anybody in my network, they can just say, "Hey, Sue, could you please introduce me?" And then I do that. I did exactly what I did with you and Katrine. I set up the introduction, and then you guys go, have at it. It's a connection, but it's a very powerful tool.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and you can actually use the Match Me feature in it to say, I'm looking to connect with people who do this, and they need to be located here, and and score them a 10 out of 10 if they're in this area. So it only spits up people who are a qualified match for you. So then you can reach out and say, Tina, I see you know so-and-so. Could you please introduce me? So it's a warm introduction. So.
Right. I love that. Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Look at you sharing even LinkedIn. You're even sharing like social media platform information. That's great. Oh, that's really good. So, I mean, obviously networking, there's a lot to it, but it can also be very simple for some people, right? Some people, like yourself, it just comes naturally to, start a conversation, get to know them a little bit, and enough that you can say, you know what, I'm going to, put you in my phone book, and, I'll be in touch with you, either for you to meet someone that can help you or someone that you can help.
But you're also going to put in a follow-up routine to stay in touch with that person, because we don't know whether they're going to be, you can help them in the next 30 days or 6 days. It may not be for a year and a half, but you want to have that ongoing connection, doing something, whether it's on their social media, whether it's an email, whether it's sending a card or whatever, but staying in touch, maybe every 60 days, just something. It doesn't have to be a major effort. Just have something in a follow-up system that triggers you to say, don't forget, you need to, talk to so-and-so, and don't forget to say, glad their granddaughter, was graduated, or if last time you had a conversation with them, the dog just passed away. Put a note in that and say, so you can reference it and say, last time we spoke, your animal, your fur baby had passed away. Have you got a new one, or are you going to leave it for? So you've got something to mention in that conversation a bit down the way.
Right. And then of course, when you do that, your dog passed away, and that was like let's say it was 9-10 months ago. By that time, he's going to look, or she's going to look at you and go, well, you remember that? Like, wow. And then she's going to want to be more connected with you because you're like in her life, right? For you to remember that, she knows that you really felt for her.
Yeah. Or anything like that. And that's why I say, I use tools to help me with this thing. I don't have a steel trap mind. Locks, no, it's like a sieve some days. But I make notes. I have my CRM is very, very simple, but I have what they call a rotation of remember, so that I put a note in there to follow up in X number of weeks or days, and the last note will be something we said in that conversation, so I can reference it moving forward. Or if they've mentioned, somebody's getting married and I'm going to be talking to them afterwards, I can say, how was the wedding? So you just need to be conscious when you're having conversations and make notes. And, not copious. I use Fathom actually to record Zoom conversations, so I can go back and have a quick look, so I can focus my attention when we're having the conversation, and then go back and in my notes say, okay, and I'm going to follow up in 60 days or whatever in my rotation of remember. And, so it's there. So I'm not having to keep it all in my brain. You have to find some sort of system for supporting yourself to ensure your success. It's about ensuring your success by doing that.
Oh, for sure. You have 40,000 people in your, in that Chrome. I can't remember what it's called.
They're not all mine, but it's called. Well, we have it through selling on the spot marketplace. It's the global nexus, but the generic, because we have it white labeled, but the generic thing is my most trusted, and it just speaks that. But that's of everybody who's in the network. We keep adding people into the my most trusted, so it's building this network of credibility.
It's a community, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's what it is. And it's growing all the time.
Oh, for sure.
And we do chat.
That's awesome. I love that. Now, what would you say, if someone is new to networking? I mean, I know we talked about everything, but what's the number one key?
Be yourself. Be yourself and be interested, not interesting. Remember, it's not about you. It's about how can you serve, how can you help. And
I love that.
So take the pressure off yourself, and because people think I've got to impress people. No, you do not. You need to be yourself, and you need to be of service. How can you help this other person?
So if I was to ask you, what about someone who has been networking for, let's say, 40 years? Would you give them the same advice?
Yeah, take a look and see, are you being yourself? How can you be of service? I think that's the absolute key, is how can you help the other person you're talking to? I'm going to be starting a sort of formal coaching program at the end of this month. And one of the exercises I'm going to do, and I'm hoping that I have enough people in the program locally that we can go out to in-person networking event. But what I'm going to get everybody to do is to buddy up with somebody in the group before we go in and learn about that person and what they offer, and then go into the networking group looking for people for that person, not for themselves. To go in and listen for how they can help their buddy kind of thing.
Oh, that's a great idea.
So they have to, listen to who they are and be able to, and then we'll have a competition at the back to see who got the most referrals for people, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's a great idea, because then you're networking, right? Like if you're there and you're helping your partner, right, that what you're doing it right.
Yeah, you're just doing it for something. You'll split up and you'll just be, just listening for the other person. I just think it'd be fun to try it and see how it works in a live environment. And just
I think that's a great idea. Yeah. And the thing is, you could do that and send everyone to a different networking event, because in the end, it's going to be the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. So when is registration open already?
No, I'll probably be opening it at the end of the month. I mean, people can reach out to me absolutely and say, hey, I'd like more information about your program and this kind of thing. So I'm just putting the finishing touches on it. I was going with a much higher price offer, and then I thought, no, I don't want to do that. I just want to do something that's more immediate and more fun, and hopefully we'll get a whole bunch of people doing it. And even if we're doing it online networking, we can still do the same thing, just have a powwow and even go to networking rooms and even breakout rooms, and it'll work.
Oh, yeah, you can make it work. You can make it work, absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's so many networking events now, online and in person, right? Like, people are starting to get back out in person, so that's good. Oh, I love that. I think that's a great idea. Oh my goodness. So so is there anything that we didn't talk about that you feel that everyone needs to know about networking?
I don't think so. I mean, there are so many different things to consider with networking. I think we've covered the most essential things, and I think that the biggest one is be interested, not interesting. It's not about you, it's how can you help. And if you go into network meetings, looking for how you can help that person you're speaking to build their business, expand their business, I don't think you can go wrong.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. And I think that's good advice for really anyone, for anything, right? Like, be yourself. Be yourself. Yeah, I think that's the best. I think that's the best advice anybody could give to anyone at any time, right? Is just be you. Don't pretend to be something you're not. I love that. Well, thank you so much, Sue, for joining me today.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was great. A great conversation. I love talking about people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Confidence in Bloom is a celebration of self-love, a confirmation that even though you may not look like a screen star or a supermodel, they don't even look like that. You're an amazing, desirable, brilliant, gorgeous, talented woman. We offer unconditional love to our partners, our children, our extended family, even our pets. It's high time we got out of our own way and learned to unconditionally love ourselves. In Full Bloom, Success Styling offers an online course combined with one-on-one coaching in confidence building, personal branding, and creating your signature fashion look. Chic definitely does come in every shape, so if you want something to believe in, start with yourself. If you'd like to be a guest here on Confidence in Bloom, contact me through Instagram at infobloomstyling or by email at tina@infobloomstyling.com or through the Divas That Care website.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.